Hello everyone and welcome to this very first episode of Meet a Gentleman. My name is Chris Cabella and today I have the pleasure to sit down with Joey Tozzi. He's the owner and founder of Boutique Tozzi, an upscale boutique located in Crescent Street in the heart of downtown Montreal. The minimalist Allwood Zen Decors complements the extensive selection of today's best labels and top designers offered at this unique spot. The customer will enjoy a relaxing shopping experience in a peaceful environment while sampling a selection of the trendiest brands of men's and ladies' clothing and accessories. Joey, thank you so much for having us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. So your boutique is obviously a premier hotspot for any fashion enthusiast. I mean, from Mauro Biello to Chris Letang and even the late great Robin Williams. It seems like you've been able to establish an A-list clientele in a relatively short period of time. Can you tell us a little bit about how you grew up and what led you to create Boutique Tozzi in the fall of 2010?
All right. Well, I grew up in Montreal. My parents are of Italian descent, and I always worked in the fashion industry. I've been in it for about 20 years. Since I was 15 years old, I started at a company called Dex, which is a Montreal-based company. I worked there for a couple of years. Then I moved on, and I started working at Benetton. And I did that for a couple of years as well. Benetton is an Italian company. They had a couple of retail stores in Montreal, one at Eaton Center, one on Laurier, I believe, and one on St. Catherine. I think, well, the biggest influence and where I gained the most experience was my following job at a high-end boutique on Prince Arthur Street. Okay. That was really great. That's where I learned, I'd say, the most pertinent information that helped me establish this store and grow it to what it is today.
What ultimately led you to become your own boss, and do you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Okay, well, I would say that after 10 years of managing that store on Prince Arthur and really having a lot of responsibility, it was the most natural progression. It just felt right to do this. Yeah, I really do. I think when people ask me what I do for a living, I will mention that I work in the clothing industry, but at the end of the day, I am an entrepreneur.
You opened your store 6 years ago, right?
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you were 29, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
So Joey, what are some of the steps that you had to make in order to get the store where it is today?
Well, I mean, I was actually very lucky the way everything played out, because I started by getting by visiting a place called Yes Montreal, which is for young entrepreneurs, and it was through them that I was able to get a loan that was half through them and half through the BDC, the business, the Banque de Développement de Canada. Okay. So they were the first people to back this venture, and once that deal went through, then the banks were more open to investing as well in the company.
Great, great. For some reason, you really seem like a detail-oriented person. Can you name 3 characteristics that are similar to both you and your store?
Well, I can name a couple of similarities between the store and myself. I would say that the store at most times is very organized, and I tend to be an organized person. And I would say also, in terms of the selection of clothing, it is very influenced by my own taste. in fashion. I mean, we always try and buy clothing that's going to be for many different types of looks, but there is a nice portion of the store that is really I'd say very close to what I would be wearing as well.
And in your opinion, why does so many people fail in business today?
I think, listen, in order to succeed, I mean, there's a combination of aspects. I think you really you have to be hardworking, dedicated, but in terms of failing at business, I think sometimes luck is a big aspect, and sometimes just luck doesn't play in your favor. So that could be detrimental to someone starting something new.
So would you say you're a firm believer in luck?
Well, it plays a big part. I think again, there's a certain formula. You have to be very hardworking, be super dedicated to what you do. You have to wake up early every day. But after all of that, there's still an aspect of luck that's heavily involved in your success.
And what's the best advice you ever received?
I'd say it's really well, I'd say there's two things. It's growing up, I remember my parents always telling me just to wake up early every morning, and that's a huge a really important detail, and always to get things done right away and not procrastinate. So anytime you have any task or anything important to do, you just have to get it out of the way and do it as soon as possible.
Looking back at your accomplishment thus far, what would you say was the toughest challenge you had to overcome in order to open your boutique?
I would say the financing aspect of the business. As a young man in his 20s at the time when we opened the company, going to the banks, trying to get a loan is very, very difficult, especially within this industry. Banks just don't want to loan out money to restaurant businesses and clothing businesses, and that was really a very challenging thing to do, and luckily we were able to get it done.
Where do you see yourself or your store maybe in 10 years from now?
Well, I think the key is to grow organically and take our time. So there's no big like grandiose plan for the next 10 years, but as long as we grow at the rate. I mean, we've been very lucky in a short period of 6 years. We've grown, I think, tremendously, but I mean, we just take our time and go day by day, and hopefully we continue on the same track that we're on now.
Okay, but you keep on talking about luck here, but in my opinion, I don't feel like luck plays such a big part into your success. What's the percentage of luck would you attribute to the growth of Boutique Tozzi?
It's hard to put a number to it, but I don't know. Let's say that's just like the clincher. You can't just rely solely on luck. You have to do all the other stuff, and then that little aspect of luck will put you over the top.
Did you ever get discouraged while trying to open your store?
Well, again, I think that's if you want to add to it, that's an important quality that's needed. You just you'll have, I think whatever you do, you'll have in life, you'll have bad days, and you just can't get discouraged by that. You just have to be very resilient and try and stay happy.
What would be your advice for a young entrepreneur?
If I had to give one advice to young entrepreneurs, is to never burn your bridges. It's important that through your experience in life, all the people you meet, whether you have positive or negative experiences with them, you really have to keep those contacts, because you never know when they'll come in hand.
So you'll say, Joey, that the networking aspect is super important in the life of a young entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up, all the friendships and contacts I've made over the years have really helped grow this company.
And finally, my last question, do you support a cause, and if so, which one and why?
Yeah, well, on a company level, we donate to a couple of charities every year. One of them is the McGill Head and Neck Foundation, and on a personal level, I give actually at the end of each season all of my wardrobe to the Salvation Army. So those are two like organizations that we like to contribute to every year.
Wow, this is very nice. You give it to the Salvation Army?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Well, also within the industry, we're always wearing the latest stuff in order to promote the latest products. So I think that's a perfect fit. At the end of each season, whatever items I have, I just donate them.
Okay, great. So Joey, thank you so much for having us
Well,
today.
thank you very much. Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Did you like this video? Don't be shy to press the like button. And if you didn't, please tell me why in the comment section. I'll be so grateful if you can share it with your friend. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to know when we post a new video. And I'll see you next time.